Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tom Joseph, a clinical pastoral counselor with At the Well Ministries. I'm here today to talk about the problems that men have today with their wives. You know, there are many men that come to me and they have issues concerning their marriage. And they have issues because many men were not properly taught or schooled about women. You know, I know this is going to be politically incorrect, but women are the weaker vessel. The weaker vessel in the sense that they are more emotional. And men need to take their rightful position in protecting their wives. Let me give you a secret about taking care of your wife. Now, I'm talking about a wife that is a committed wife. I'm talking about a wife that doesn't have a severe issue such as maybe an alcohol issue or an addiction, a woman that doesn't have a severe personality or mood disorder or something that is causing the family havoc. I'm talking about a woman that is committed, a woman that loves her husband and loves her family. And there are many men that basically ruin a good woman or ruin a good marriage. They're very neglectful. For the first mistake is that men believe that the woman in their life is a partner in life instead of their wife. Now let me clear that up. What does that mean, a partner in life? A partner meaning the same as them. They're looking for someone who can pull their own weight. They're looking for someone who can maybe bring in a second income. They're looking for someone who can take the pain and the struggle off of the man. So men are looking for women that look like another man. They're looking for a roommate. And a partner in life, in the sense of being a roommate, is not a marriage. I want to share with you men. Men, you have to look at your wife as if you're taking care of a child. Not a child in the sense of you having superiority over her, but you looking at her as you're there to meet all of her needs. You need to make sure she's protected. You need to make sure she has a roof over her head. You need to make sure she has food to eat. You need to make sure that she's preferred over you, just as you would your children. Many men are not taught that. Many men think that they married another person, another adult person that pulls the same weight as them in the sense of being a man. You have to remember they are sensitive. They need to be coddled. They need to be preferred. They need to be encouraged. And so if you are looking to your wife as another roommate, as another male roommate that can pull all their own weight and just be a sex partner with you, you're going to have a struggling marriage. So you've got to look at your wife as you are the one that takes care of her, not her taking care of you. Now, here's the interesting thing. You can't outgive a woman. You are the giver and she's the receiver. Even physically, women are made to receive sex from a man, and men are to impregnate a wife and give a seed to them. They then become pregnant and give back to you a gift. In the same way, this is in the emotional realm. You are to give to the woman. You are to be the first one to make sure things are taken care of in the home. You are the one that should initiate affection. You should be the one that is taking care of your wife or making sure she is okay instead of her making sure you are okay. You should be the one calling to find out if she's okay or if she needs anything on your way home from work, not her calling you to find out if you need something. When you are a proactive male in the home, you are a proactive husband. You are truly being a Christian man by serving your wife, even as Christ gave himself for the church, meaning died for them, served the church, you also need to serve and give and prefer your wife over you. She will outgive you if she's a good woman. If she's a dedicated wife, she will outgive you. I want to share with you also about a book that a friend of mine wrote. His name is Don Gallegos, and Don wrote a book that said, "Win the customer, not the argument." Don Gallegos was the president of King Soopers supermarkets here in the Denver area. King Soopers became one of the most prolific supermarkets around this area and still is. It's been bought out by Kroger Company now, and it's still very successful. But he had a motto, and his motto was, "Win the customer, not the argument." This is how he trained his employees. Now I want to tell you husbands, win your wife, not the argument. Most men can out-argue and out-convince their wives in decisions. Most of the time, women are afraid of something because remember, women want the man to protect them, not them protect the man. And therefore, they bring up emotional pleas to them to check these things out, or what do you think you're doing, or what are you going to do for the children, and how are you going to fix this? And then they become emotional when they communicate. And too many men get their personal feelings hurt when a woman expresses themselves in an emotional way. And then they begin to protect themselves. And then they get hurt by the woman. Let me tell you, men, hurt people hurt people. And so if you are not being a man, and if you don't have the broad shoulders to handle the emotional pleas of a woman, then you're always looking to her to fix you and to patsy your feelings and to fix you instead of you helping to solve her issues. Win your wife over, not the argument. Most of the time, I let my wife win the argument. Why? Because I should do that. I should allow her and prefer her to exhaust her communication with me before I jump to conclusions, before I put my foot down, so to speak. You are to listen to your wife. You are to prefer her. You are to find out why she's saying what she's saying. And you are to nurture her. It's just like when your children come to you. They come to you, and if they're emotional or if they're just angry, you allow them to talk, and then you coddle them, and then you hold them for a while. And then you find out how to resolve the issue. Many men get so upset that their wife is a little upset, or she's emotional, or she is talking in the emotional realm, and they don't want to listen to it. Win your wife over, not the argument. Because you can always out-argue your wife if you really wanted to. You can always try to put everything in a logical sense, and it doesn't always fit that way. And I wanted to share this with you because so many men need this basic truth that you are the man. You have to set the precedence. I tell men, if you are the boss in your home, then that means if the dishes aren't done, you do it. If an employee doesn't show up for work, then the boss needs to do the work. Or the owner of the company needs to work extra until they hire someone else. So if your wife is unable to do the dishes, then you do the dishes. If she's unable to get the laundry in, you put the laundry in. If she's unable to take care of certain things because she's taking care of children, then you take that burden off of her. There are many Christian men that say, I want a Christian wife. I want a Proverbs 31 wife. And I tell them, do you know what that means if you really read the Bible in new biblical history? In the Bible, especially the New Testament and in Proverbs 31, men hired handmaidens. Handmaidens are servants. Their husbands made sure that the wife did not have the burden of doing housework. He made sure that she didn't have the burden of taking care of the children and watching the children. They were hirelings. She hired younger women, or he hired younger women, to make sure the burden was off of her, and she then looked over her home. She made sure these servants were doing the right thing, while she adorned herself and went out and made some extra money for herself. That's really a biblical wife. And if you want a biblical wife, that doesn't mean a housekeeper, an accountant, and a babysitter, a chief bottle washer, and a chief cook. That does not line up with the Bible. So if you truly are looking for a biblical wife, then you are to provide servants for her. Otherwise, you need to help her out. You need to take up the slack, and you need to take the burden from her. Women are dependent on men to be the emotional strength, not the emotional crybaby, not the emotional drain. They are to be an asset, not a liability. Men need to check their wives, their cars, their automobiles. Check their automobiles out. Make sure their tires are not bald. Make sure that the oil's changed. Make sure that they have gas if they need it. Make sure that they're okay, just like you would if you had a child. It is your responsibility as a man to take care of your wife. And I will guarantee you this, that most women will outgive you when you start giving to them. They will take care of you when you take care of them. And whatever you sow into them and give to them, they will incubate and give back to you. If they're a normal woman, if they do not have a severe disorder. Most women that are committed to their husbands and committed to their family will outgive you. And if you come to a point in your marriage where you don't know what happened, what switch went off, how come my wife is discontented and she is so distant and I can't get her back, look in the mirror and find out what you did first. Look in the mirror and see what you've been sowing into her before you jump to conclusions. This is Tom Joseph with At the Well. God bless you and have a wonderful day.